Well, all right. Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world famous As It Should Be studios. And I have with me Crystal Durant. And Tommy has with him a lot of candy.
I didn't know we were starting.
I'm sorry I didn't send you a warning.
I love it.
That's all right. You know, that's all. It doesn't matter. We don't give a fuck. We're punk as fuck. We don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Oh well.
Here we okay.
Well. What are you gonna do? Well, anyway, we're gonna discuss our favorite albums of 1977.
Yeah,
How do you like them apples?
77. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And I think I'm gonna say that Crystal starts this.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Here are my runners-up for 1977. Elvis Costello, this year's model. Out of the Blue, ELO. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. Bjork, Gunman is I don't know how you say her last name.
Early ass albums.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like she's 10 years old on the cover.
She's a little child, yeah.
Peter Gabriel, Going for the One by Yes. Saturday Night Fever soundtrack by the Bee Gees. I, Robot by Alan Parsons Project. Damned by the Damned. Foreign Affairs by Tom Waits. From Here to Eternity, Giorgio Moroder. Love Gun by Kiss. Love Gun! That cracks me up. And then I've got John Williams with the soundtrack to Star Wars.
Those Near and Far Wars?
Near and Far Wars, yes. I got Pink Flag by Wire, Motorhead by Motorhead, Rattus Norvegicus by the Stranglers. I don't know how you say that. Queens of Noise by the Runaways. The Name is Bootsy Baby by Bootsy Collins. Animals by Pink Floyd. Cheap Trick by Cheap Trick. Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. Next by Journey. Foreigner by Foreigner. Commodores by the Commodores. Heavy Weather by Weather Report. Probably their best Heavy Weather. Saw Delight by Can. Phyllis Hyman by Phyllis Hyman. Right on Time by the Brothers Johnson. In the City by the Jam. Now the Tubes. Star Wars Episode IV, A New Hope. Separate soundtrack album. The Grand Illusion by Styx, Bad Reputation by Thin Lizzy, Chicago XI by Chicago, The Stranger, Billy Joel, Brothers by Taj Mahal, Blank Generation by Richard Hell and the Voidvods, In Color by Cheap Trick, LAMF by Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, Going Places by the Jacksons, another really good Jacksons record, News of the World by Queen, Here You Come Again, Dolly Parton, Introducing Sparks by Sparks, Young, Loud, and Snotty by the Dead Boys, This Is the Modern World by the Jam, Chic by Chic, The Roots soundtrack by Quincy Jones, and All in All by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All in all, a good list.
Thank you. Zing. All right, now here is my list. Coming in at number 10 is Talking Heads by Talking Heads. Now, I know a lot of people have trouble with Talking Heads, like they do with Steely Dan, because they say that they're a bunch of eggheads and snotty and think they're smarter than everybody, and they kind of are, so just live with it. My number 9 is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, the album that you can't ever escape for the rest of your life.
And yet it's still on the list.
And it's still on the list because it's fucking Rumours. Everybody should know this record. Number 8, I have Marquee Moon by Television. Now, Television is one of those New York bands, new wave-ish, rock and roll-ish kind of things. And this is oh my god, you have to have Marquee Moon. You don't have Marquee Moon, you don't like it? Bleh, you're a loser. That's what people came at with me initially, because I was like, whatever, I don't care. But the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So if you had people trying to cram it down your throat, give it a listen, as Lemmy would say.
Lemmy once said.
As Lemmy once said.
Give it a listen.
Give it a listen. And I think that you'll wind up liking it. At number 7, another paradigm-changing album in the history of music, which is Never Mind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. I mean, wow. The whole history behind that, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Number 6, I have a tie.
Oh!
And that is Heroes and Low by David Bowie.
Oh!
Because.
Because
of the
it's
wonderful
wonderful
albums he
things
put out.
he does.
Blah, 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 blah. What'd you say, Tommy?
Because of the wonderful albums he put out.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah, because of the wonderful albums he put out.
No. At number 5, I have Asia by Steely Dan.
Ooh, aha.
Aha. At number 4, I have Trans Europe Express by Kraftwerk. So good. This is the album that Africa Bambaataa fell in love with and sampled that song in particular.
It's not sampled.
Oh,
They re-fucking played it.
redid it.
They brought in John Roby on keyboards, who was able to just replay all the fucking parts to the point where people thought they sampled it.
I was getting ready to say that, but thank you, Tommy.
Yes.
Take that, samplers.
Take that, samplers. Yeah, that was my surprise, but Tommy just ruined it, but that's okay.
Well, that's because you ruined the Bjork album surprise that I had cooked up.
Oh, really? Oh,
You
God.
just shit right all over that
Wow,
by randomly
okay,
mentioning
yeah,
that.
let's wait for that.
Oh, is that going to be on your dishonorable mentions list?
No, it was going to be on my holy shit this exists category that Crystal just fucking just set a fire and burned
All
the
right,
goddamn
well,
ground.
now we're even.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. All right, number 3. Number 3 is a tie.
Ah.
And that is between Lust for Life and The Idiot by Iggy Pop. If I had a gun to my head,
You probably wouldn't be thinking about Iggy Pop
I wouldn't be
records.
thinking about Iggy Pop records.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Let me tell you something. That is not a tie for me.
Not a tie?
Oh boy, is that not
Is
a tie
Lust
for
for
me?
Life better for you?
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Oh.
We'll talk.
Oh, shit.
Talk.
Okay.
All right.
talk.
All right. My number 2 is Paul's favorite band on the planet Earth, The Clash by The Clash. He hates them.
He does
The only
hate
band
the
that doesn't matter.
Clash. She does not like them at
He
all.
does not like them at all.
You know,
And
yeah,
that's fine.
I'm not into them.
He hates them. Yeah, that's cool. And my number 1 album of 1977 is Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome by you know who,
Parliament.
Parliament and Funkadelic.
Yeah.
So this is the record that gave us Flashlight, burning it down, Neon Light, and Bop Gun. 2 of the most amazing songs ever. And yeah, Parliament Funkadelic, they are the truth. Parliament Funkadelic
right.
and Parliament Funkadelic.
Parliament and Funkadelic, both.
Yes. Awesome. Great. That's my list.
Oh,
Nicely
shit.
done.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, there you go. Well,
Commercial.
well, I think that's a good idea. This is as commercial as we get. All right.
Rachel.
The world looks mighty good to me, 'cause Tootsie Rolls are all I see. Whatever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me. Tootsie Roll, how I want your chocolate chew. Tootsie Roll, I think I'm in love with you. Whatever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me.
Yodelay-oo, Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa. What's the best way to start your day?
Give a little yodel.
Swiss Miss has lots of rich chocolatey cocoa and milk already in it. So all you do is add hot water and give a little yodel. Okay, gang, what do you do for a warm-up break? Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa. Yodelay-oo.
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to go into my list now because I promised I would.
I promised you I will.
Oh, I love that
All right.
one.
So good.
All right. Well, I have some honorable mentions.
Honorable.
Honorable. Honorably norable. Chicago 11, the last album that they did with Terry Kath before Terry Kath died, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like the last real Chicago album.
Agreed.
Yes. They go completely to shit after that.
I
A
love
lack of Terry Kath renders the proceedings to be a lack of Chicago.
Oh my God.
Because after this, what happens is it becomes
The Peter
Cetero and the synthesizers and Chicago.
Mother. I will fucking burn this whole fucking studio.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
Love it.
whatever happened to Slade?
Whatever happened to Slade?
They made this great album in 1977 that nobody really bought. They were past their expiration date as far as being able to sell records, but it's a great record.
Oh.
Neil Sedaka, A Song. An album that I remember at the time that I didn't get, and it was one of those that I wanted but I never got, and I didn't hear it until recent years, and it's actually pretty damn good. Steely Dan with Aha! Barbra Streisand, Superman.
Oh shit.
Streisand's Superman album.
Oh, is this the one where in the album cover she's got
Blue
the
background and she's in like she's in like a bikini bottom with a Superman t-shirt.
Shirt
She
on.
looks so hot on that album cover.
It's a good it's a hot album cover, but
It
also
is.
it's a great record though.
Record is good. Yeah, I forgot.
Because she went through this period right in the mid 70s where she started making fully contemporary records. They weren't all Broadway and they weren't like this contemporary records, and she did it pretty damn well. Then Lizzie, Bad Reputation. And a couple more of my patented city pop albums. Taeko Nuki with Sun Shower. And Tatsuro Yamashita with Spacey. All right. Dennis Wilson, Pacific Ocean Blue.
Dennis Wilson. Wow.
Which Tommy does not like. And David Bowie, Heroes.
Yes.
Chic, self-titled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Runaways, Queens of Noise. Absolutely. ELO, Out of the Blue. Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. Heartbreakers with LAMF.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. ABBA the album. Ramones, Rocket to Russia. And Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. Now, I when I said that we talk about it more, I see Lust for Life was trying so hard to get on the list. Up until last night, I was just like, and I forgot that it didn't make the list, so I guess I don't really have. It's not on the list, but I guess I could still talk about it. And notice that's on the list, and The Idiot's not. All right, number 10. All right, number 10. Kiss, Love Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Love Gun only at number 10 because I really love the album, but it's really not one of the better albums from the period.
Really?
I think side 1, rock solid.
Really great.
Side 2, Hooligan, Plaster Caster. And Then She Kissed Me.
I
mean, come on.
I enjoyed their cover of Then She Kissed Me. I think Love Gun is a stronger record than Rock and Roll Over. What's up?
Oh, no way. I think Rock and Roll Over wipes its ass with Love Gun. But I Stole Your Love, Christine 16, Got Love for Sale, Shock Me, this fucking title track. There's some banger ass songs on that album, but
That's true.
yeah. There's just a lot more songs that I just don't think are that good on that one, so yeah.
All right.
Number 9, my patented head scratcher Blank Stare album. Lake.
Blink, blink, blink.
Lake by Lake.
Lake.
Lake by Lake.
Meow.
Ooh.
Yeah, German band that it's really okay. I think Tommy would like this record.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a kind of a pop kind of thing, a bit of a like really big sounding pop with great Queen kind of harmonies all over it.
Really?
And some early synths going on, and it's a really great German pop album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Homework time.
Some of the vocals sometimes even are a little yes-ish. A little bit like you can almost kind of like that sounds like what's this fuck?
Rick Wakeman. Rick Wakeman.
The singer from
Singer.
Yes. The singer from Yes.
Yes.
John Anderson.
John Anderson, whose name I know. I was just brain farting. Sounds like this John Anderson is in the mix in there. It has like a little bit of that sound to it. But yeah. Anyway, number 8. Never Mind the Buttocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Yeah, come on. Never mind the buttocks. Yeah, I love the Ramones more than I love the Sex Pistols, but yet Rocket to Russia was a honorable mention, and this album made it the list. I don't know. It's hard to say because I do love the Ramones more, but it's not a fair fight because the Ramones have more to choose from to make you love them more. But the Sex Pistols came in just with this one album and just went, all right,
Boom.
mic drop, see ya.
We're
You know,
done.
it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know?
Yeah.
What do you do? But anyway.
Crazy.
All right, number 7. AC/DC with Let There Be Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is definitely one where I prefer the U.S. version over the Australian version. Because the Australian version has that song Crapsody in Blue on it.
Oh.
That's really not that good.
Crapsody?
Crabsody in Blue. It's like Rhapsody in Blue, but it's about crabs. Walking sideways, we're walking.
Are you
Give me the
kidding me?
blues.
No.
Crabsody?
Crabsody.
Walking
Yeah.
sideways?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. I gotta
It's
listen to
about
this.
crabs.
It's literally about the crabs.
Tell me. It's about crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a good song.
No.
Wow.
So,
That's weird. That's weird.
but anyway, so yeah, US version of that. All right, number 6. Of course. Come on. Of course it's going to be on the list. Saturday Night Fever.
yes.
I feel a little hackish that the only Bee Gees album that is going to make my fucking top 10 list is this one.
Not hackish.
But you know,
It is what it is, man.
yeah,
Don't feel bad about that.
it just, you know, that record runs deep. I mean, you know, when you're there at the time and
Yes.
like
It
Well,
ruled.
how deep does your
my-
love for it run?
well, you know. Well, it's staying alive, that love. I can say that much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's more than other albums
It's
to
more
you?
than an album to me. It's more than any other Bee Gees album to me. All right.
If you can't have it,
Oh, yes, I can.
you don't
Here we
want
go.
anybody. Anything.
Yes. And I could at the time too. I even had it as a kid because everybody did. I mean, I think it was standard issue.
Your
I
dog
think.
had that record
Yeah,
in
I mean,
1977. Everybody
you probably
had
had it
that
in
record.
77 and you
Yeah,
weren't even
you weren't
around
even
yet.
born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. You should be doing your list. There you.
You know, will you cut the jive talking? All right. 5. Queen with News of the World.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Great album. And at one time, this was my favorite Queen album. I don't think it is anymore, but there was a moment in time where I thought maybe this might be my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the cover. Oh, it's so
Yeah,
great.
the cover's pretty crazy. Number 4, Heat Wave. Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a fucking record that is. And absolutely perfect. There's not one bum track on that album. And yeah, I mean, obviously it has big hits like Boogie Nights and basically the Stairway to Heaven and the Freebird of R&B, Always and Forever.
Yeah.
You know,
The Stairway to Heaven and Freebird.
yeah, rolled into one.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. You're not wrong.
It really is, yeah.
You're not wrong.
But all right, number 3, Stranger.
Yes. I love that record.
How could you not?
Wow.
This album is ridiculous.
So great. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, this is the probably ultimate example of this is a greatest hits album.
Yes.
Yes.
The last 2, no, maybe the last. Well, let me look at it. The last song on side 2 is the only song that wasn't on the radio. Literally, the only song that you won't already know going into this album. Yeah,
True.
that is the greatest hits album. All right, so number 2 is Tie.
Oh, hold it up. I got it this time. Yay.
And unfortunately, I only brought. Well, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it.
Do it. Do it.
Let's do this. We're doing it. It's taking me a minute, but I'm gonna do it.
Hey, look, Little Richard's here.
What do you know?
Cheap Trick and in color.
Yes. Yeah.
Cheap Trick and in color. I mean, really, if I'm gonna be really honest, I like this even more. But they had to go in as a tie because they're just
So fucking great.
yeah.
Come on,
I mean,
son.
talk about perfect albums and.
Perfection.
So much better than Kiss Love Gun. It's not even funny. But that was number 2. Okay, so I didn't get to my number 1 yet. Anybody have any ideas what that might be?
It's 1977.
Gee, I wonder.
I have no idea.
Rumors.
Oh yeah, Rumors.
I mean, it's one of those things that seems it's obvious, but
Sometimes.
it's like Dark Side of the Moon. It's where it's like, well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah.
You know,
it's great.
there's a reason. It's not just if people just following the leader with this. I mean, there's a reason.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Collective consciousness. So good.
So there
All
you go.
right.
There's my 77.
Oh yeah, great list. Awesome.
All right.
You got this, man. You got
You
this.
can do it. You can do it.
You got
can do
this.
It. You can do it. You can do it.
Oh, wow. What a terrible morning. Maybe I'm dreaming. I am not dreaming.
Errol King has to bring himself back to life. Fortunately, he's discovered Coast Deodorant Soap, the eye-opener. Coast Deodorant Soap. A crisp, exhilarating scent and handfuls of bubbly lather combine to tingle your senses. It makes you feel more than clean. It actually brings you back to life. Refreshing Coast, an eye-opening experience.
Wow, do I feel good today?
How are you getting to work today?
Backstroke. Bring yourself back to life. Coast Deodorant Soap, the eye-opener.
What are we drinking, my lords?
You're looking over an orange soda, the Shasta that we adore. You really should try it, the flavor's just right.
Orange soda, just one of 14 great Shasta flavors.
Oh, you're looking over an orange soda, the Shasta that we adore. You're looking over an orange soda, the Shasta that we adore.
Well, all right.
All right, it's Tommy's turn.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Tommy has some. Yeah.
So
he has some things to say.
Yeah.
I have some things to
Yes,
say.
there have been things that have been said in this room already
Oh,
that
right.
he has to address.
Oh, he has to, yeah. Wait, hold it. Are you coming out of the box with a...
It's not a treatise.
Okay.
It's not a treatise. I was bringing back that category I had introduced back in the 60s, which was holy shit, this exists. And this time around, it's holy shit, these exist.
Oh, it's more than one.
Now, Crystal already fucking ruined one completely when she mentioned Bjork's debut album, which came out in 1977 when she was only 11 years old. She has completely written this record off. She considers it a product of juvenilia. It's her just doing a bunch of covers. It sounds like you're listening to a little girl sing in Icelandic.
Yeah.
It's quirky and weird sounding, and she just is like, no, I was a child. So apparently they offered her the opportunity of doing a second one, and she's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to take the money and buy a piano. So that's what she did, and then...
Right, and then she did it right.
And then starting in the 80s, she was working with punk bands, and then, so then eventually became the Bjork we know now.
Cubes and then Bjork.
But my other entry in this holy shit these exist category, a Canadian glam rock band named Sweeney Todd.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
I didn't know this would. I thought this would just be on your list.
No. Well, here's the thing. So they had a big hit with the song Roxy Roller when Nick Gilder was the singer and one of the songwriters for the band. Yeah. And then Nick Gilder and the guitarist, I forget his name, they were the primary songwriters. They were offered a deal as just the two of them, and the label was like, we don't give a fuck about the rest of Sweeney Todd. So they were like, well, I guess we can either take this or we could just, I guess end up in obscurity in Canada. So they took it, went to LA, and, went and did the Nick Gilder solo records. And the rest of the band was like, well, we don't want our career to be over. What the fuck are we going to do? So they got some kid who was only 16 years old to be the lead singer of the band, and they re-recorded a bunch of the stuff, including Roxy Roller. That 16-year-old, Bryan Adams.
Boo.
Yes, in 1977, a 16-year-old Bryan Adams was the lead singer for the glam rock band Sweeney Todd up in Canada. And it is a trip. It's a trip listening to it.
Yipes.
And we're not even on the dishonorable mentions yet.
I know.
We haven't even gotten to my honorable mentions.
Honorable.
So, my honorable mentions for 1977. Rocket to Russia, the Ramones, the first Peter Gabriel solo album, Queens of Noise, the Runaways, Love Gun by Kiss, News of the World, Queen, Here You Come Again, Dolly Parton, Bad Reputation, Thin Lizzy, Lights Out, UFO, Passage by the Carpenters, Hope by Klaatu, I Remember Yesterday by Donna Summer, Trans Europe Express by Kraftwerk, Animals by Pink Floyd, Next by Journey, and French Kiss by Bob Welch.
Oh my God, French Kiss. Wow.
Now, let's get to my top 10.
Yeah, let's.
All right.
My number 10, Fleetwood Mac with Rumors.
Okay.
I know, I'm about to,
I just wanted to scowl a moment.
I'm about to get a What You Talking About Von Voigt.
No, just a scowl is all
What You Talking About Von Voigt?
What you talking about, Von Voigt?
My number 9, Styx with The Grand Illusion.
Yes. Come on in and see what's happening.
Oh. My number 8, Cheap Trick with In Color. My number 7, Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Hello.
Yeah.
So great. My number 6, Electric Light Orchestra with Out of the Blue. I mean, coming off the series of records they had just put out in 74, 75, 76, and then to come out in 77 with a fucking double album that's as good as it is.
Incredible.
My God, Jeff Lynne was just...
Yeah.
He was just on fire at this point. My number 5, Pay No Attention to the Bollocks by Sex Pistols.
Pay no attention.
Do not regard the bollocks in any way.
Pay no attention to the bollocks behind the curtain.
Oh my
Yes.
God. So I slept on this record for years. I really did. Like, I was all about the Ramones, obviously, since like junior high school. I was always aware of the Pistols, and I knew a couple of the hits, but I just never bothered listening to this record. I don't know why. A couple of years ago, we did an F-Bomb where we did a set of Ramones and we did a set of the Sex Pistols, and I played guitar in both sets, and that's when I really had to dive in and pay attention to the material. This album is incredible.
It's absolutely flawless.
This is just a fucking amazing goddamn album. And then since then, I've learned even more about like the insanity behind the scenes, what led up to making this record. It doesn't make any sense that this record is even listenable, let alone as incredible as it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck these guys managed. I mean, I'm not, I'll sometimes say, I don't know how they managed to do this. I legit do not know how the fuck the guys that made this record managed to write and record this fucking album.
Yeah.
Even with the help of really talented producers and engineers, it doesn't make any sense that this album is as good as it is, and this record is amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great
I've always
album.
thought the same thing. I've always thought, is there some sort of like illegitimate shit that we don't know about going on? It's like somebody else playing the backing tracks. Are the songs ghost written?
But it's not. They wrote this material. That's them playing the instruments.
Yeah.
This was Steve Jones, the guitarist.
Yeah.
That's him playing all the guitar tracks. He just not only is he pulling all that fucking raw, incredible rock and roll, fucking all that shit just out of thin air, seemingly. Like he just sheer force of will, he manifested the ability to play like this. But like the sound of his guitars, and he recorded it through. I think he recorded through like a fucking Fender Twin Reverb, and he got that sound. I don't know how they did this.
Divine intervention.
It's like people have talked about like somebody must have made a deal with the devil to fucking make that record. Like this is
That's
like
one of them.
You listen to this record and you know what's up with these dudes. Like you can almost believe they did that because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, I want to cut in on this a little bit because I didn't really talk about it much when I talked about it on my list. But yeah, for the longest time I didn't hear that record, but you knew about the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
You knew the name and you knew the reputation.
You knew Anarchy in the UK and all that
And
shit.
I always just thought, and I didn't hear any of the songs. I didn't know any of the stuff, and I just thought they sounded like, the fucking Germs or something. And then one day, when I'm in high school, I was probably like in 9th grade, I think. This would have been around maybe 45. I remember being in a car in the back seat, a bunch of kids in a car, some kid was 16, had a driver's license, we're driving. and this is playing, and I didn't know what it was, and I'm like, what is this? And they go, no, this is the Sex Pistols. And I'm like,
What?
this is the Sex Pistols? Holy shit. I mean, I just thought that it would just be, like I said, it would sound like Germs or something. It's like, no, this is just like a fucking kick-ass rock and roll record.
Oh, it sounds huge and full and just fucking kick-ass, and the songs are great, and just the performances kick-ass. It's just... and it's funny you mentioned the Germs in that story, because after the Runaways went bust and Joan Jett was just like, I guess I don't know what the fuck I do now, she knew Darby and Pat Smear from the Germs and convinced them to let her produce the Germs album, and she promised them that she was going to make them sound like Nevermind the Bollocks. Which,
well, there's only so much magic one has at their disposal.
Did not.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was, and I don't know if anyone could have made them sound like that. But anyway, moving on from number 5, let's get to my number 4. Now, this might be a blank stare moment from both of you.
Okay.
My number 4, an album that's ranking way higher in the list than it possibly should, and that's because, as we've said before, these are subjective lists.
Of course.
Rock City by Riot.
Blink, blink, blink.
Oh, well, no, that's not a blank stare, but...
A New York-based heavy metal band from the late 70s who did not actually really achieve any kind of fame until they hit it in Japan. Right. And for a while were based out of Japan. But their first album, Rock City, from way back in 1977, is just kick-ass from start to fucking finish. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
All right.
My number 3, Billy Joel with The Stranger. My number 2, The Ramones with Leave Home. Holy fucking shit.
I'm kind of surprised that's your number 2.
Oh my fucking God, The Ramones, Leave Home. God damn. And there's a reason why it's only my number 2, and that's because my number 1...
Oh.
Bow down, bow down.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh boy. Now there are just some albums out there that, like, if I wanted to just basically say, like, you know, I'd like to get to know more about Tommy, I'd just hand them an album, and like I think that'll just work as a decent enough substitute.
And that song would take the words right out of your mouth.
I mean, seriously, this. I could just hand somebody a copy of Bat Out of Hell and be like, just there we go. That'll do for now until I have more time to explain a bit more about myself. This record,
it's genius.
Oh my God. Now there are people that are haters. I have no time for the haters of Bat Out of Hell. This is a work of fucking genius. A work of absolute genius.
It's like lightning in a bottle. I think. It just... What?
They came... kind of almost close to recapturing some of that lightning in a different bottle when they finally did the follow-up, Dead Ringer. There's some moments of absolute brilliance on that, but nothing comes close to this record. This record is just incredible. It's a work of fucking art.
Did Todd Rundgren produce the second one?
He did produce this. No, he did not produce the second one.
The second one. Yeah.
No, he only produced his first one. Unfortunately, Todd Rundgren is one of those kinds of people who is dismissive of this album. He kind of thinks it's kind of a joke.
That's so
him. That's so
him to look down his nose at it.
Yeah, like he never bothers mentioning this in any of his like list of his accomplishments, and it's just this album's amazing. It's just fucking amazing, and I have listened to this album so many times. It's one of those albums where I don't ever actually even need to hear this record again. I just know it from start to finish. I can just hit play in my brain.
You can just play it in your head. Yeah.
So
I know that. I know that phenomenon. Yeah.
Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf.
Ding 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 ding. Very good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, man. Our 1977 fave albums, and here are our 1977 fave commercials.
Well, it's that time of the year when you can get a Hubert doll at the Harris Bank. Just open a savings account with $200 or more. Or add $200 to a savings account you already have. If you got a Hubert doll in past years, get another one. You know, you can never have too many Hubert dolls, 'cause you can never save too much money.
You should have a Harris Banker.
You should have a Hubert doll.
Big wheels are a-rolling with big fat wheels in back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We're back.
Yeah.
Meow.
You know it.
Meow.
Totally. All right. But we're back to hate this time, I'm afraid. Yeah. In fact,
That's
we're
what
back
they're here
to
for.
despise.
That's what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. They like the negativity.
They
They
do.
thrive. It feeds them. It feeds their dark souls. Yeah. You know.
Satan.
And I think, Crystal, you're the first hater, aren't you?
Am I? Yeah.
I think you're hater number one. Yeah, you are.
Hater number one.
Hater sister number one.
Phew. All right. Well, I only have one thing.
Okay.
Anything by Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett.
Seriously, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy so much.
Jimmy Buffett. The only reason I'm liking him now is because we're going to take this field trip and force Tommy to go there.
No, we are not.
Yes, we are.
You don't realize the fight I can put up if I have to.
Oh, no. We're doing it.
No.
So, but otherwise, music-wise, no, boy. No.
The only way you'd get me to go to fucking Margaritaville is if you got Melissa to be complicit in this bullshit.
And I will.
And she will never do that.
Yes, she will.
She will not.
She'll do it for me.
She would not.
Oh, yes, she will.
I think you've just...
You threw down a gauntlet. So
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Nope.
And you're going to lose.
She would never do that.
Yes, she will.
Melissa.
Come on, girl. Yeah.
This is the team you're on, right here.
Right here.
All right.
This is the team.
Okay. Just because you marry a guy doesn't mean you have to be on his side.
Exactly.
Throw him
Not all
under the
the time.
fucking bus. All right, anyway. My worst of the year.
Throw him under a bus.
Throw him under the fucking bus.
I love it.
Okay, so I have two. I have an honorable mention and a worst of the year. And technically the one... I don't know. It's hard to say. Anyway, well... Jonathan Cain Band.
What?
Windy City Breakdown.
What?
Anybody familiar with this record?
No.
We all know who Jonathan Cain is, of course.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
And this is that moment. Yeah, this is that moment in between when he was in the Babies and before he joined Journey, and he tried having a band of his own, Jonathan Cain Band, and put out this album. And it's like hokey, pedestrian songs, and his vocals are awful. There's one song I kind of like on it called Spinning My Wheels, but overall it's just really like, Jesus Christ, this is the guy that co-wrote the fucking songs that he co-wrote in Journey. Like, there's no indication of that on this record at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this might actually be before the Babies.
Was it 77? So maybe.
I think this
I don't
might
know.
actually
You know,
be
you're
right
right,
before
because
the-
he would have been in the Babies. He would have been
Yeah.
out of the Babies in like 78.
No, later than that.
Later than that?
Because he was like fresh out of the Babies, and then they got him in to replace.
Okay. So maybe this is pre-Babies. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe he just got better. I don't know.
That would make sense. That would make sense. But of course, my worst of the year, Jimmy Buffett, Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes.
See?
The album with Margaritaville.
Yep,
I mean,
that's
that
the one.
alone.
Yeah.
He was
don't
leading
even-
up to it up to this point, but that's the one where he just made it official.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know some of you guys like Jimmy Buffett, but
You're wrong.
Parrot heads
some of
out
us guys
there?
don't.
There are parrot heads out there?
I think Robert Fitton. I think Robert Fitton likes Jimmy Buffett.
Really, Robert?
I think
Wait,
he
for
does.
real?
Oh.
I think he does.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's
I'll
a
still
shame.
watch your show anyway, though, Robert.
You know.
I won't throw you under the bus.
Do you watch the Gunkles?
I do.
Ah.
Yeah.
Are all of
Vinyl
the
Community
Gunkles parrot heads?
I seriously doubt
I
that.
don't know.
Okay.
I seriously doubt that. I would put money that Robert Fitton is the only one.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's a full-on parrot head, but I think I might be wrong. I think he likes Buffett.
So maybe he's just parrot adjacent.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a parakeet.
Oh, okay.
He's a budgie.
A budgie maybe.
He's a budgie.
Yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments, please.
Oh, anyway,
Now that we've
well,
dissected it all for
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, we're just sitting there just going to go, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. There's only one person who can tell
all
us.
over it, so now you tell us.
All right. Tommy, why
Tommy.
don't you tell us?
Is it me?
Yes, it is you.
Well, I have two dishonorable mentions. Fingerprints by The Residents. Seriously, fuck The Residents so hard. And Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes by Jimmy Buffett.
What?
But those are not my worst of the year.
Oh, word?
Okay. Not even The Residents.
So,
Worse than The Residents, you
worst,
say?
yeah. So, all right. So there's a band that I have long just not bothered with any of their 70s output. That band would be the Beach Boys. I haven't bothered. It's never good to make assumptions about any sections of an artist's catalog. You should, if you want to actually be informed, you should check it out. But I heard so many people dismiss this entire era for the band for so long, I just never really bothered. I'm super, super into the early Beach Boys stuff, up to Pet Sounds. But, you know, when you get into the Brother Records era and all that stuff, the 70s album where they're just basically drifting, they're lost.
I'm feeling the Pacific Ocean wind blowing my way from both directions. Anyway,
so I just never really bothered. But as I'm going through 1977 and I'm just like, you know, seeing the albums that came out, I just caught like some of the way, you know, people were describing this next particular album. Apparently, there was universal praise from the critics, hailing it as a triumphant return to form, and a triumphant return to form for Brian Wilson as a songwriter and a producer, and that this was such a forward-thinking record as far as looking ahead towards all the synthesizer music that was coming out. And this is just a phenomenal record, and it's just something everyone's got to check out. So I checked out the record.
And then
this is The Beach Boys Love You by the Beach Boys.
Until you got part of the way in, I thought you were going to say the Dennis Wilson album, and then it became apparent you were talking about Love You.
No. So I'm listening to this record, and I'm listening one song after another, and I'm just like, what fucking album were these people listening to?
Yeah, well, that album is a weird one.
This is just it's corny, it's out of touch. It just sounds, they sound confused, they sound adrift. Their voices are just haggard and worn the fuck out.
What isn't they? It's Brian.
I mean,
that shit is all Brian.
Brian is in terrible physical health. He's smoking 4 packs a day. He did this record at the advice of Eugene Landy.
Landy. Eugene Levy, Landy. One of those guys.
Levy.
I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. And what's really fucked up, so they immediately, once he finished this record, he starts on the follow-up, which was called Adult Child, which is going to be more of the same bullshit. And after this album died on the Vine, I believe it was Jardine and Mike Love were both like, no, we're vetoing Adult Child. It's too weird. No one gets this. We don't want to put that out next. So then they kind of recamped and they went to the Mahavishnu
Orchestra
University.
The Maharishi Orchestra.
Yeah, so they went to MIU, which was this transcendental meditation fucking college. So then they do a Mike Love record, which was the MIU album. Now, if you read the reviews of that, everyone absolutely savages the fuck out of that record. It's the worst thing they've ever done. It's horrible. Don't ever listen to it. It's garbage. They sound like they don't know how to make music anymore. So I'm like, you read all the reviews of the Beach Boys Love You and how people praise it, and then you read the reviews of MIU. Now, MIU is a terrible record. By any metric, it's not a good album, but like it doesn't sound nearly as terrible as the way people are describing it. And contrast that with the Beach Boys Love You, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on at this point in time? And then they follow up MIU with LA Light Album, and it's just, I don't know.
Well, all I can say is whatever you do, avoid Keeping the Summer Alive.
Oh, you know what? I stopped by then. I was like, I'm not going to keep going.
That's wise.
That's the one with the snow globe on the cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you something. I like all 3 of those albums. I like Love You, I like MIU, and I like Light Album. I don't think they're great albums. And I completely understand what's terrible about them. I enjoyed the albums. Keeping the Summer Alive sucks.
These guys...
By any metric.
These guys, I just don't... These guys were so fucking lost.
They really were.
Irrelevant at this point in time.
And that's the thing. I think that's one of the things that people like about the Love You album is it's like this weird sort of like Syd Barrett solo album kind of curiosity of like some weird sick mind making a record. I don't think that it's really that people think it's a well-made album. I think it's another one of those outsider albums. It's the outsider album mentality.
It kind of is, yeah.
It kind of is. And there are songs on it that I really like. But I completely understand why you would hate it. It makes complete sense. Objectively, it is a bad album.
Yeah,
I do like some of it though. I just do.
It's just too out there for me.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow.
The song about Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
But my favorite. Anybody who hasn't heard this record, whatever you do, make sure that you listen to honking down the highway. Honking down the gosh darn highway.
What?
Honking down the gosh darn highway.
Crystal, I don't know if you've ever bothered. You probably haven't bothered fucking with any of these records.
Have you ever heard this album?
No.
Do you know it? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know this one?
You are. It is. I completely understand why these would have missed your attention entirely.
I stopped listening to the Beach Boys after Pet Sounds.
Well, that's pretty much my.
I had no
cutoff,
desire
too.
to listen to anything else.
These guys are so adrift at this point in time. In the late 70s, I'm gonna just come out there and say it. At this point in time in popular music, there is no place for Mike Love. There is no room for him. There is no need for Mike Love.
Yeah.
Mike Love stopped being something that had any fucking relevance after like 65.
Yeah.
And even that's a stretch for him.
Yeah.
There is no fucking need for him to be doing anything artistic at this point in time.
I'll say.
You want it sticks out like such a fucking sore thumb. Him making music in the late 70s.
He basically sounds like, I mean, he sounds just very like Leave It to Beaver. Like I don't know, like he's Wally Cleaver trying to make a record in the middle of the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is just. I mean, there is no better fucking example of somebody being completely irrelevant than Mike Love at this point in time. So Brian Wilson with all his demons and all the shit he was going through, the last fucking thing he needed was Mike Love exerting any fucking influence artistically.
Right.
I can't say that these records would have been any better if Mike Love had just fucked off into the mountains somewhere to just meditate forever. They probably wouldn't have been any better. I don't know.
Zowie.
They couldn't have been any worse. I don't know.
Couldn't get much worse.
So anyway.
But all of that said, there actually are legitimately songs on all three of the albums that we discussed that I really like. Even if I understand why they're bad, I kind of enjoy them anyway.
I mean, there's a couple things on MIU album that are like, that's basically harmless. I don't know why people are attacking this bad. But
well, anyway. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, there's some Beach Boys love for you. And all right. And here's some messages from our sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will pour.
Innkeeper, a ration of Lowenbrow for me and my men.
Lowenbrow? You guys finally win a race?
Oh, yeah, we found the secret. We lashed Joe to the mast so he couldn't fall overboard. You guys.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
You know the best part about sailing? Yeah, this part.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hey.
Well, hello. Let me make sure that we're going here. I think we're going. Yes, we're going.
I believe we are.
And we've hated, right? We've loved. We've hated.
We've hated. It's better than Cats.
To all the albums we've hated before.
But now we have Vintage Photo Time, circa 1977. All right, so here we have Crystal and her sister Addie in the summer of 1977 at the Dutch Wonderland theme park in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yeah, they're hanging out with their buddy Barney Rubble, as you can see here, casually, as you do. And here I am in 1977, the year of the cat, with my Grandpa Basher. Now, Grandpa Basher was my mom's stepdad. But he and my grandma were married long before I was born, so he was always Grandpa. So there you are, Crystal and me in 1977.
77.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't do my homework.
God damn
I'm not
it,
prepared
Tommy.
to contribute to this assignment.
Tommy. Okay, I'm going to give you
one more week.
I only giving you one more year.
Okay, one more year.
Same difference.
Yes.
But while we wait for Tommy's photo, you might want to subscribe.
Yeah.
And if you do subscribe, this will kind of help you to take up, more time while you wait for Tommy. Click the little bell. Right. And like and comment and
Tell
all
your
that kind
friends.
of shit. And share on Friendster and all that kind of stuff. And
Friendster.
we'll be back next week. You need to come back too because we're going to be discussing our favorite albums from 1978.
78, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh.
Yeah.
70.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
This is commercial as
This is as
it should be. Sells out.
Oh, 77, so that means that turns around. It goes from this to this.
What does that mean? Oh. It's a rude gesture that I never.
That's the British.
That was never part of my. Yeah, I wasn't
Up
aware
yours.
Of that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're 77, so you turn that around,
Yep.
and there we go. All right. All right. You good there, Tony Randall?
Yes.
All right.
Oscar.
Okay.
Oscar.
Like good. 3, 2, 1. Well, all right.